In medicine, confusion costs marks and mistakes cost lives. Stop memorizing, start understanding. This is Dr ABM, where medicine finally makes sense. Alright, pause for 1 second. What if I told you that just 20 tiny molecules are responsible for your muscles, your neurotransmitters, your hormones, your metabolism, your immune system, and even diseases that can show up in medicine and any medical school exam? Yes, amino acids are way more than protein building blocks, although they are. In today's video, we'll talk and break down everything you need to know about amino acids in biochemistry, and we'll do that in the simplest way possible. We would look at essential and non-essential amino acids, acidic and basic amino acids, ketogenic and glucogenic amino acids, branching amino acids, important amino acid derivatives. We'll quickly look at maple syrup urine disease, ATNOP disease, high yield exam tricks, and mnemonics that you can use. And trust me, by the end of this video, amino acid will stop looking scary and start making complete sense. So grab your notebook and let's dive and jump right in. So we already said that there are 20 amino acids and you need to be able to at least recognize them for your exams. Are we good? So for medical biochemistry, what matters most is understanding what amino acids are, their categories, their functions, their derivatives, and the diseases that are associated with them. Now, it's important to know that amino acids are called the building blocks of proteins. So, we said that amino acids are the building blocks of proteins, and they are organic compounds that contain an amino group, there's the N-terminal, and a carboxylic group C-terminal. But before we go into deep downs, you should know that amino acids are linked together by peptide bonds. Very important. Also, amino acids are not only protein components. They are also found in metabolic intermediates. They are found in neurotransmitters. They are found in hormones. In fact, they are hormone precursors. So, amino acids are extremely important. Extremely important. So, looking at the structure of an amino acid, you can see it on an amino acid has an amino end and it has a acid end, a carboxylic acid end. So you know your organic chemistry, carboxylic end is COOH. So this is the T-terminal right here. This is the amino NH2 group here, and in between you have a CHR. Now it is this R, this group R, that changes the structure of amino acids. Are we clear? So take note. Again, this is the structure of an amino acid. You can see it right here. In this case, it's well written. Again, the amino group NH2, so NHH, and the carboxylic group C double bond O, then OH, and then the side chain R. Right, take note. Next up, we'll talk about essential and non-essential amino acids. Now, this classification of amino acid is very, very important. So, what are essential amino acids? Essential amino acids are amino acids that cannot be synthesized by the body. What this simply means is that your body cannot produce them. That's why they are essential. So because your body cannot produce them, it is absolutely important and essential that you obtain them from your diet. And that's where the word essential comes from. So that automatically means that the non-essential amino acids are amino acids that the body can produce on its own. So it is non-essential, it is not important that you put them in diet. If you want to, no problem, but it is not so essential. Are we good? So right on the screen, we have our essential amino acids, right? Histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, tryptophan, valine. Take note. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Remember, how many amino acids do we say we have? We have 20 of them. So if 9 is essential, it means 11 is non-essential. So these are our non-essential: alanine, arginine, asparagine, aspartic acid, cysteine, glutamic acid, glutamine, glycine, proline, serine, thyroxine. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Now there used to be an acronym in remembering this, and that acronym is help in learning these little molecules proves truly valuable. That's for the essential. Help in learning these little molecules proves truly valuable. And then anyone that is not part of there's no need to memorize the non-essential. You just need to remember that anyone that is not essential is automatically non-essential. So if you know your essential, you automatically know the non-essential. Beautiful. Moving on. Now, amino acids can be classified in many ways. Another way it can be classified is as acidic amino acid and or basic amino acids. And this one is quite easier than people think. So the acidic amino acids end with acid. So the two you have is aspartic acid and glutamic acid. So you see them in green here, right? See aspartic acid and glutamic acid, right? So then please take note, they end in acid, aspartic acid, glutamic acid. And honestly, it's straightforward, right? Now the basic amino acid we have are, right, you can see them, lysine, arginine, histidine. So histidine, lysine, and arginine. So usually we say HLA, right? HLA is human leukocytic antigen. Check it out on our chemical pathology topic. But here we use our leggings are basic. So if you have a lady leggings, you're just telling her, oh, it's basic. Our leggings are basic. HLA. Take note. Now another way you can classify amino acid is based on ketogenic amino acids and glucogenic, right? This is based on their products. So ketogenic amino acid are amino acids that can be converted into ketone bodies. Now the glucogenic amino acid can be converted into glucose. And then we have some amino acids that can do both. We said they are glucogenic and ketogenic. Now the ketogenic amino acids that we have are leucine and lysine. They are ketogenic. So LL. But the glucogenic amino acids that we have are histidine, methionine, and valine. Histidine, methionine, and valine. Right? Now the mixed that we have, we use PITT for them. PITT. P-I-T-T. Right? P-I-T-T. They include phenylalanine, isoleucine, then threonine, then thyroxine. Very important, right? So, and these are clinically important in metabolic disorders and in the fasting state. You should know that glucogenic amino acids are converted into glucose via gluconeogenesis when the body needs it. Check out our video on metabolic pathway, protein and carbohydrate metabolic pathways. Then ketogenic amino acids are amino acids that form acetyl-CoA or acetyl-acetyl-CoA. It's very important. Moving on. Now we begin to talk about amino acid derivatives. Start with phenylalanine and thyroxine derivatives, right? And this is high yield biochemistry areas. Now phenylalanine gets converted into thyroxine, right? And then thyroxine can be used to form a lot of things. First, thyroxine forms DOPA. DOPA is dihydroxyphenylalanine, and then DOPA will form dopamine. If the pathway progresses, dopamine will form norepinephrine, and norepinephrine is finally converted into epinephrine. These are their enzymes: thyroxine hydroxylase, amino acid decarboxylase, dopamine beta hydroxylase, phenylethanoamine and methyltransferase. So these are the enzymes that catalyze each step, and these are collectively called catecholamines. Check out our video on pharmacology to understand the effect of the catecholamines. So whenever you think of dopamine, norepinephrine, epinephrine, your brain should immediately trace them back to phenylalanine and thyroxine, because this pathway is very important in neurochemistry and endocrinology. Then we also talk about tryptophan derivatives. Tryptophan is one of the most common amino acids clinically. So tryptophan derivative is very important. And why is tryptophan important? This is because it forms niacin, serotonin, and melatonin. Serotonin is formed using cofactors, right? Then serotonin can further form melatonin. So the pathway we have is tryptophan. Tryptophan is converted into serotonin. Note that serotonin is also called 5-HT, 5-hydroxytryptophan. And then serotonin can be used to form melatonin. And then another derivative from tryptophan is niacin, right? Niacin can be used to form NAD plus and NAD plus, NAD plus and NADP plus. So if tryptophan levels are low, niacin levels may become low, and this leads us directly into ATNOP disease. Take note. So we'll talk about ATNOP disease. ATNOP disease is caused by defective absorption of amino acid, neutral amino acid, especially tryptophan in the kidney, in the proximal tubules of the kidney. So ATNOP disease just because tryptophan cannot be properly absorbed. So what you're going to have is this niacin production is reduced. That automatically leads to NAD plus production decreased, and the symptoms of niacin deficiency will appear. Now don't forget that from basic knowledge, niacin deficiency causes pellagra. And pellagra, the symptoms of pellagra are diarrhea, dementia, and dermatitis. So we use the 3 Ds. So these are the symptoms that you're going to see in ATNOP. Additional symptoms will include loss of motor functions. There's going to be ataxia, there's failure to thrive. It's also important you know that ATNOP disease is inherited as an autosomal recessive disorder. So how then do you treat? You use nicotinic acid supplementation. So you give supplements. Very, very important. Then we begin to talk about other amino acid derivatives. You can quickly run through them. Number 1, histidine forms histamine. Yeah, they sound alike, so that's easy to remember. Glycine forms porphyrin, which is important in heme synthesis in hemoglobin. Don't forget, glutamate forms GABA. GABA is gamma amino butyric acid, very important in metabolic pathways. Glutamate also forms glutathione, and this is very important in neurochemistry, right? Arginine is even more interesting because arginine forms creatinine. It also forms urea. It also forms nitric acid, nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is extremely important in vasodilation. Yeah, nitric oxide is important in vasodilation. It's also important in erection. So arginine has major cardiovascular significance. Take note. Next up, we'll talk about branching amino acids. Now, the branching amino acids that we have are isoleucine, leucine, and valine. So you can see them here: isoleucine, leucine, and valine. So you can remember, I love vanilla. I love vanilla. Now, these are broken down by an enzyme called alpha D-keto dehydrogenase, right? And deficiency of this enzyme is what leads to maple syrup urine disease. Take note. So next up, we'll talk about maple serum urine disease. Maple serum urine disease occurs because branching amino acids cannot be properly broken down, so they accumulate in the body, especially leucine. Now, because the urine develops a sweet maple serum disease, the urine develops a sweet maple serum odor, right? That's why we call it that name. So the findings you would see is syrup smelling urine, then poor feeding, intellectual disability, neurologic symptoms. And inheritance is an autosomal recessive condition, right? So when there is a disorder with the breakdown of isoleucine, leucine, and valine, then you have maple syrup urine disease. Alright, So a quick recap. Today we discussed essential and non-essential amino acids, acidic and basic amino acids, ketogenic and glucogenic amino acids, important amino acid derivatives, Hartnett disease, maple syrup disease, branching amino acids. And if you understand tryptophan pathway, catecholamine synthesis, branching amino acid and amino acid classification, then honestly you are already ahead of many medical students in biochemistry. Now that's how this concept should be understood, clear, precise, and exam ready. If this helped you, go ahead, like the video, drop a comment, and tell me what topic you want next. This is Dr. ABM, where you don't just study medicine, you master it. See you in the next video.